up, guys? Church is about to get started. Why don't you sit back, relax. I'd like to show you something with this deck of cards here and a friend of mine, my only friend. This is my buddy Fox.
Hello.
And not only am I going to need Fox's help, but I need two of your guys' help actually as well. No one's real excited to do this, but that's okay. I'm going to make you. Here we go. Let's go ahead. Sitting on this side of the room, you have brown hair, about yay long, probably Jennifer, probably, that's what I guess. Over here, short, blonde, buzzed hair, Steve, probably, yeah. Steve, so Jennifer and Steve, you guys are gonna help me, and my buddy Fox. Here's what we need though. I'm gonna have you guys pick cards. You got your marker, right? I'm gonna have you guys pick some cards, and I'm gonna find each of these three cards in increasingly difficult fashion. But before we do that, I need to look for one card, and we're just going to keep it down there. It's just like a keeper placeholder, if you will. So we're going to put that card right there. Do me a favor, will you just put your hand on that card, make sure that, yep, that's perfect. Awesome. All right, here we go. We're going to have these, and here's what I need. We're going to pick these cards. Fox, I'm going to riffle my thumb down just like this, and whenever you say stop, I'll stop.
Stop.
Right there? Okay, here we go. Got 1, 2, 3 cards. Let's take a look. What do we have? The 5 of hearts, Queen of spades, and 7 of clubs. Here we go. Let's do this. Jennifer, I'm going to have you remember the Queen of spades. All right, you remember the Queen of spades. And Steve, that 7 of clubs, that one's yours. You got it. Now, Fox, you're going to hold on to the 5 of hearts for me. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to write your name on that card. Are you right-handed? Okay, this should be fun. Here we go. And really, I mean, if I'm being honest, there's no reason. Your left-handed writing looks better than my right-handed writing. So that's pretty good. There's really no reason for me to do this, other than I just like to collect cards with names on them.
That's weird.
That's weird. I don't think I'm gonna say that anymore. My bad. Okay, here we go. Jennifer, you're gonna be the first one. Here we go. We'll take your Queen of spades. Take your Queen of spades, and we're gonna put it in the middle, and then we'll cut the deck up and lose your card in the middle. We'll shuffle it up even. All right, the next one, we're gonna take the 7 of clubs. Steve, that's yours. You remember the 7? Here we go. And then Fox, last but not least, we're gonna take your card. We'll take your card last, put it in the middle. Your card with your name on it in the middle. Shuffled up, mixed into the deck, just like this. Now remember, I'm going to find these 3 cards in increasingly difficult fashion. And here's the first one. Just like that. The 7 of clubs. Steve, your card jumps up to the top. Here we go, we'll put that right in there. Now, the next one. Here we go. Jennifer, this is yours. All we got to do is I'm going to drop these cards just like this. And you're going to say stop. I'm going to listen for you to say stop. And whenever you say it, I'm going to stop. And your card is going to end up right on top there, okay? Here we go. Right there. Did you hear it? I heard it. There it is. Your card, the Queen of spades, the 9 of diamonds. Okay. Fine. Here we go. Let's try it again. We'll try it again. That's okay. You remember, just like we practiced, Jennifer. Come on. Tell me when to stop. Ah! Nope, that doesn't count. Right here, your card, the Queen of spades, just like that. Okay, 10 clubs. Nope. You know what? No, actually, that wouldn't make it any more difficult. What would make it more difficult is if I had your card folded up inside my wallet. That would be a bit more difficult. You can take it here. Actually, I'm going to come and take a look. In here, there's one card, and one card only. It is your Queen of spades. Just like that. Sweet. All right, and here we go. We'll put that in there as well. Just like that. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how we find 3 cards.
But, hey, you didn't find my card, dude.
Oh.
I mean, I'm standing right here.
You are. No, actually I did from the beginning. You remember in the beginning you had your hand on one card before you wrote your name on a card, before any cards were selected, you had your hand on a card. Go ahead, do me a favor, pick up your hands. The last one that we just found was that Queen of Spades. The one right before that was the Seven of Clubs, but the card that you've had your hand on from the beginning, before anything was written down, was your 5. All right, guys, hey, that's it. I hope you enjoy your church service, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hey everybody, welcome to our 757th episode of Creek Live. I'm Kyle, this is Krista. We're pretty stoked to be with you this evening. Krista, I feel like we're kind of coming to the finish line.
I do too. I kind of see it in sight a little bit.
The church now has a regathering date, which is pretty exciting. Now, unfortunately, student ministry stuff, that doesn't mean we're going to get kicked off for the foreseeable future. But the very fact that we will get to be on campus, getting to see some of you, giving you socially distant high fives and hugs is going to be so incredibly worth it. I'm going to try not to cry thinking about it because I'm pretty stoked. And I miss you guys immensely. Now, we have a very special night planned for you. It's going to look a little bit different than anything that we've ever done, especially since we're standing right now. Normally we sit for Creek Live, and there are parts of Creek Live tonight that will be filmed seated, but right now we just wanted to sit or stand to change it up a little bit.
Yep, it might be different, you know.
Yeah, so speaking of things that are different, obviously this school year has been different.
Been very different.
The last few months have been insanely different. And so obviously one of the things that we do around the third-ish week of May is we have something called Student Sunday Senior Recognition.
Yes.
Krista, tell us a little bit about it this year. What were your takeaways, your observations, et cetera?
Well, what I liked was kind of a little unique this year. We started doing some stuff on social media. I don't know if you guys caught it on the church's social media, but they had prayers for you each day.
It's true.
Which is really exciting. Kyle and I, really our hope from that was that the church would just pray for you and they would begin to see what influencers you are as we do. And so we're excited about that. I really enjoyed the student announcements though on
Indeed.
Sunday. They all put a little twist on it. So much fun to watch them do that, and then really just enjoyed hearing one of our seniors, Dylan, just pray.
Yeah.
For his class and really just for us. So
Yeah, it was honestly really cool. I think my favorite part was just the videos. And obviously tonight, like we said, we had so many videos that it would have taken about a fourth of my message time. So if your video didn't get played or shown during the bumper on Sunday, we have it locked and loaded today or tonight, and you'll get to see it. But we're going to do it in a pretty unique format.
yes, we are.
We are. But all of that to say, students, we love you. We're for you. Seniors, we're so proud of you. We have some special gifts that will be coming your way within the next week and a half, 2 weeks. So look in great anticipation for
Yes.
that in the not too distant future. Now, really quickly, one final thing. We don't have a game tonight because we have some special guests that will be joining us at an after party.
Yes.
Now, normally we said that we wouldn't have an after party this week. That was the original plan. But
We just couldn't pass up on this opportunity.
this is an opportunity unlike any that we could have imagined. And so we're pretty pumped about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So do not miss the after party, especially if you went to Camp Zephyr with us.
Yes.
Okay, that is a gigantic hint. Okay, but since we don't have a game, we don't really have a way for you guys to necessarily engage with us during this portion of Creek Live. So here's what we want you to do. If you will comment on Facebook Live or comment on YouTube,
Yes.
we will get your name entered into our Pick Me app on our computer, and we will pick someone and send them dinner to their house for Creek Live next week.
And maybe we should do that during the after party
Yeah, maybe we could do that.
so that you again want to join us for the after
Yeah,
party.
so everybody, that's good. Everybody who participates in the after party, who shows up and participates for the after party, and trust us, because of our special guest, you're going to want to be there. You will get your name entered into Pick Me, and we'll reveal the winner during the after
Yes,
party.
so they have to comment now,
Yep.
and then you have to join us because you have to be present to win.
Got to
in
be
the Zoom
present.
party.
Yep. So comment right now with your name or the thing you love the most about the student ministry or Jesus or something. Just comment and then join us for the after party at the end of tonight. It is going to be a lot of fun. Now, speaking of things that are a lot of fun, one of the things that we've done for the past couple of weeks is something called a senior spotlight. And so we're going to, we have filmed something special with one of our seniors, Mark, and we want you to take a look at that right now. All right, well, now we have moved into one of our favorite segments of Creek Live called our Senior Spotlight. I have a good buddy of mine named Mark. Mark, say hey to everyone.
Hello.
He is super excited to be here, obviously. I know he is. And Mark has become a very special part of our Creek family, really within the last, 12 months. Yeah, well, 2 months. Okay. So really before that, he was baptized here, and God's been doing some really cool things in his life. So I'm really excited to get to interview him and for you to get to know him a little bit better right before he heads off to, spoiler alert, Texas Tech University. All right? So, Mark, tell us a little bit about your family. But before you do that, tell everybody where you're graduating from.
I'm graduating from Langham Creek High School.
All right, Langham Creek. Awesome. Tell me a little bit about your family.
So, I have an extended family. I have my dad, whose name's Anthony. My mother, she's named after a famous painting. Her name is Mona Lisa.
Yes.
My grandmother, my older sister, she's 21. My twin brother, and my younger sister.
Wow.
And 2 cats, 1 dog, and 1 horse.
And you're in the market for a farm
Yes.
as well. So basically, folks, they're going to be making a documentary, a film about Mark's family and his life, because it sounds like it will be epic on the big screen. So now that you told us a little bit about your family, what's next once you graduate?
So I'm moving to Lubbock, which is 8 hours away. I'm going to be dual majoring in biochemistry and kinesiology, which is just a lot of science. Going to Texas Tech University.
That's right. Guns up. So post Texas Tech, what are your plans? What are you thinking?
I'm hoping that I could get into medical school to become an orthopedic surgeon.
Wow, orthopedic surgeon. That's incredible. Okay, so you have some big dreams, some big goals, some big plans. But obviously, life is not always super serious, right? Sometimes life is silly, sometimes life is fun, sometimes life is embarrassing. So Mark, tell me, or really tell our Creek Live viewers, a little bit about your most embarrassing moment.
So several years ago, I'd say over a decade ago, I was in mixed martial arts. I didn't choose being, my parents signed me up for it. And,
Compulsive mixed martial arts. Nice.
and so it was our first day of sparring, and my instructor assigned me to fight a girl. And I'm thinking, I can't hit a girl, what am I going to do? And so she punched me in the stomach, and I threw up all over her.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you, because putting myself in that situation, oh my goodness, that would be insane. Definitely embarrassing. Now, afterwards, did you?
I apologize. It was a good thing that it was when there was no iPhones and Blackberries existed, so no one recorded.
Nobody recorded. So this was really before the golden age of social
Yes.
media, and it didn't go viral. Okay, cool. Well, Mark, I know, having watched you over the last couple of months, that the Lord is doing some really cool things in your life. I had the privilege of baptizing you, obviously. That was super fun. Tell me your favorite Bible verse.
It's Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.
And that's really good advice, especially these days, right? Because God hasn't called us to live a life of fear, but of courage. I love it. Okay, so Mark, if you could have lunch with anybody, dead or alive, real or fictitious, who would you have lunch with and why?
My godfather, he moved away when I was around 3 years old. He was in the military. He served for 20 years, and he traveled all around the world. He lived in Japan for a couple years. He lived in Iraq, California. He lived in California for a while. So I never got to spend time with him. He's retired now, but he's a federal agent, so I don't get to spend time with him.
A retired federal agent.
No, he's a federal agent. He's a retired Marine.
Oh,
Now he's a federal
wow.
agent.
Goodness. He sounds like he has an epic life and tons of stories
Yeah,
that probably you do not have the security clearance to know.
Yeah, he tells me some stuff.
He tells you some stuff. Okay, well, it's a good thing you're trustworthy. Keep those secrets to yourself. Okay, so last question. What would you say? Obviously, you're graduating this year, heading on to tech. You've had a lot of experiences during high school. Okay, what would you say though is the best piece of advice for our students in the student ministry who haven't or who aren't graduating high school yet?
Get involved. Go to every football game, basketball game, volleyball game. Just going out to every game, making new friends, joining new groups. You're not going to regret it at all, I promise you.
I love that. And you're not the first person that we've interviewed on Senior Spotlight to tell that be your piece of advice, to get involved and to be a part of what's going on. Well, Mark, we're proud of you. We're so thankful that you've been a part of the Creek. Anytime that you're in Katy and you're not in Red Raider land, you're always welcome to come hang out with us.
Can I tell you, I started a Bible study group.
You did tell me that.
I wanted it to be within 10 to 12 people, but it's gotten to be about 50 to 60. I think it's like 56 to 60 people.
My goodness. See, Lord is using this man already, and he hasn't even stepped foot on campus yet. That is incredible. Well, Mark, we're praying for you. We love you. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Well, we loved getting to hear from Mark and just I love getting to spend a little bit of time with him. The Lord is doing so many cool things in his life, sending him to Texas Tech, which is pretty awesome. Lubbock's a great place to live and to go to school, so I'm pretty pumped about that. Now, another thing that I'm pumped about is our leader spotlight. And so you guys have seen over the last couple of weeks, Krista and I have been putting one of our amazing Creek leaders on display, kind of sharing a little bit about them. And so this week's Creek Leader Spotlight is none other than Mr. Chris Carlisle. A picture will pop up on the screen. Up there it is. Now this looks like a time when Chris went skydiving, I believe, or field exploring. That's the only other thing I could potentially think that he would be doing. So if you're watching Creek Live and Chris is your small group leader, leave a comment, shout him out, let him know how much he is loved, valued, and appreciated. So a couple quick things about Chris that you guys need to know. He was born in 1986. That's important. In fact, he was born August 8th, 1986. His favorite Bible verse, and he picked a couple, but he also said Genesis 1:1 through Revelation 22:21, which is the entirety of the Bible. So didn't want to particularly just commit to one verse, but he picked all of them. But he did say James 1:22 and Romans 1:16, which obviously says, I'm not ashamed of the gospel. That's awesome. If he could be any superhero for a day, who would he be? What do you want to guess he said?
Who would he be? Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America or Superman was the answer, yes. Because they both wield strength beyond reason with integrity and valor and meekness. Wow. There's a well thought out response there. So Captain America or Superman for 24 hours. If he had to eat from the same restaurant for the rest of his life, which would he choose? This surprised me, Krista.
Okay.
He said Denny's.
Okay.
And his reasoning was you can't go wrong with breakfast food and milkshakes. So, for our lactose intolerant friends, this would not work well for you, but for Chris, Denny's work well. His best memory from middle school or high school, he said being a non-adult. So not being an adult, getting to just be a kid was awesome. In fact, this was some good life advice for you from his dad. He said, son, your life is the length of your arm, and your childhood is the length of your fingernail. Enjoy it while you can.
Some pretty good advice.
That's very good advice. I'm very impressed by that. Chris's dad, shout out to you. I'm going to use that with my kid. Biggest thing that God is teaching him during the quarantine, how important community is. Cannot emphasize that enough. Community is absolutely important. If he could get on a plane and go anywhere, where would he go? To Peru. I'd love to go to Peru. Have you ever been to South America?
I have not.
Yeah, I've been to Argentina, but I haven't been to Peru. That sounds really, really cool. Favorite cartoon as a child? Now, he did say, unfortunately, in his answer, unfortunately, The Simpsons. So he is being honest in saying that as a kid, this was his favorite cartoon, but obviously as he's grown up, he's seen that that show is not the most appropriate show, which is very humbling. Now, in terms of a most embarrassing moment, here's what you need to know about Chris. Chris is super authentic. He's super real. And so he made some choices in his past that resulted in some punishment for him. And I will just basically summarize that as just saying that's his most embarrassing moment, is making those decisions resulting in that punishment and wishing that he could go back and kind of make that not a reality. But he's learned from those mistakes. He's learned from that experience, and he's a better man and a better husband as a result of it. Biggest piece of advice that he would give you, students, today: don't hold back in your relationship with God. So be all in. Don't be half in and half out, but be all in, okay? And would he rather have edible spaghetti hair that regrows every night or sweat non-sweet maple syrup? He said edible spaghetti hair. That's awesome. Chris, we love you. We're thankful for you. Thank you for being a part of the Creek, for answering our questions, and for going skydiving and still surviving. That is a huge win.
Something that I've learned in these past few days of quarantine and just self-isolation is that our plans can fail. Whether they're amazing plans or not, there is this huge possibility that they will fail because we live in an unpredictable world. But something that's not unpredictable is God's will, and whatever he wants will happen. And while right now it seems disastrous and it seems like everything is just blowing up in our faces, what we're seeing now is probably something great in the making. And God is always in control, so none of this was a surprise to him. And he knows how to make this work for our benefit, because that's what God always wants for us to grow and for us to lean on him, especially in times like these. And I've learned that, I have to rely on him and what he wants for my life, because if I rely on what I want, I've already failed, because there's so much that I would love to be doing right now, but we can't, and God knows why.
One thing God has taught me during this time is how important it is to help and look out for each other and to hold together, especially in these hard times.
Here's one thing God has taught me during this virus. He has taught me to give all my fear and anxiety and worry to him. I have battled cancer 2 times in my life, and he has taught me to give all my worry to him, and he has strengthened my faith. And so I think if we all do the same and give our fear and worry to him, he will help us get through this virus.
One thing God has taught me during this time is to remember that we need him when things are going poorly and when things are going well.
So something that God is teaching me during these times is how important it is to forgive others. So Mark 11:25 says, "And when you stand praying, if you hold anything against anyone, forgive them, so that your Father in heaven may forgive you of your sins." And this verse is just a little reminder to me that we always need to forgive others, because Jesus forgave us first, and even though it's really hard to forgive sometimes, it's very important that we do.
One thing that God has showed me is that we don't have any control over the circumstances right now, so we just have to trust him and know that he's going to do what's in our best interest.
My favorite Bible verse is 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4-8, because it shows us that God loves us unconditionally and that he will not judge us even when we sin.
I'm Alden Duncan, and my favorite verse is Genesis 27:3. Now then, get your equipment, your quiver and bow, and go out to the open country to hunt some wild game for me.
Hi, I'm Maya, and one thing God has been teaching me during this pandemic, this hard time, is to stay calm, because there's a lot of people out there worrying and freaking out, but I know deep down in my heart that God's got this. He's got this under control. He's had my back for so long. He's not going to turn on all of us now. We all need to just stay calm, trust in what he has planned for us, and live our best life.
My favorite verse is Isaiah 6:8. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Who shall I send, and who will go for us? And I said, Here I am, send me."
One thing the Lord has taught me during this whole pandemic is to always appreciate the beautiful life that I've been given and to never take my family for granted.
One thing God has probably taught me in these times that we're in right now is that you need to keep a cool head, and that he'll basically guide you through whatever's happening as long as you stick with him and live through him. And I believe that to make the best of these times, you need to live by God's word.
Hello, I'm Jacob Webb. I'm a senior at Morton Ranch High School. And one thing that God has taught me during these times is that by praying and looking up to Him, I don't have to be fearful.
One thing God has taught me during this time is to have patience. It's to be patient with myself, with my family, with my friends, to be patient and to wait and to know that everything's going according to His plan. And if we just trust in Him and keep our faith in God, that everything will be all right in the end.
The one thing God has taught me during this time is to be patient and trust that He is in control.
One thing that God has taught me during this time is that nothing is guaranteed, so enjoy every moment and make the most of your time.
Okay, well, wow is all I can say. Those videos, y'all, we are so incredibly proud of you, first of all. Second of all, wow. Like, what?
Okay, so as they were coming into me this week, first of all, I was just so floored with how many videos we got. And let me just say, to those of you who sent in a video, and I had a couple of you who helped me get videos.
Yeah, you were kind of like the video wranglers.
We are so grateful for that. And that was just so encouraging. And all this time that we have not gotten to see you guys, to actually hear you say what God is teaching you or share a verse that God has given you, I mean, just so encouraging.
Yeah, it was incredible. Probably, like I said, my favorite part of Student Sunday was just getting to see your faces as you pop up on the screen, reading a Bible verse or sharing what God is teaching you. Y'all, we cannot emphasize this enough. I'm speaking on behalf of Krista. We are so proud of you. We are so proud of you, and we are so honored to get to do life with you. So well done. Hope you enjoyed seeing yourself tonight. But here's the challenge. Don't stop pursuing Jesus during the summer, okay? Don't take a summer mentality when it comes to your relationship with Jesus. Keep pursuing Him. Keep engaging with Him. Keep reading His Word. Keep learning. Keep growing. Now, Krista, that leads us to the last word.
Yes.
And this is a segment, obviously, that we do when we're trying to conclude Creek Live. These are literally the last words that we're going to be sharing with you. For last week, we've done something called Spirit Week.
Yes.
And we've seen some great participation. We've seen some great photos. Now, here's the deal. That's just super fun. We'll be getting in touch with the winners very soon and letting them know what they've won. But that was just done to kind of break up some of the monotony of school. And we know that this week potentially is your final week of school. So we're not planning anything gigantic for this upcoming week other than praying for you, being here to support you if you need an encouraging text or electronic hug, potentially. I don't know how we would do that, but we could figure it out. But we have some exciting last words.
Yes, we do.
Okay? Last word, number 1 or 2, I forget. I've lost track of them.
Yeah.
Last word, number 2.5, is the fact that there is an after party tonight. We've made mention of this. We've talked about it. We have some special guests that will be joining us.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome. Remember, in order to have your name entered for our prize at the end of the night, you need to have already commented or comment now and attend the after party. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Krista, do we have anything else that we need to tell them? I mean, obviously, you know that we want you to keep engaging with your leaders. Obviously, one of the things you will be seeing over the next week or two are some summer plans.
Yes, we are working on those. Actually, as we are speaking, we have been working on those.
Indeed.
And so,
like in our minds right now, as we're filming this, we are working through. No, that's not. We're not. I mean, she may be. I'm not that good. I can only focus on one thing at one time. But they're coming.
But yes, they are coming. We are excited about the potential plans that we have for summer.
Yes. The last word is really just 3 words. The last 3 words are, we love you.
Yes.
We're for you. The finish line is in sight, students. So finish well. If you're already done, don't brag. Yes. Congratulations. Don't rub it in other people's faces. But if you're not done, finish well. Honor Jesus with the way that you finish this school year, and get pumped about the summer.
Yes.
Because it's going to be epic.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be epic. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we want you to send a text message. You'll see a slide in just a second with the number to send a text to get into the after party. But remember, comment and attendance at the after party are necessary to be chosen for free dinner provided to your house. Anything else?
No, I think we're good.
Awesome. We will see you guys in the after party.